Okay.
All right. What I'm wondering is if we have a no, well, if we ought to think about the nature of the conceit, especially in light of the passage where we say we need more, candor and friendship, and I, I don't. So this toying with the audience about, oh, we have this paper that we're not getting to. I kind of feel like maybe we should. I think we should either reveal that that this was a conceit at the end, or somehow come clean with some kind of candor about it. And the question is, what is the candor? Because the thing is, I think the candor should be something like, well, this is the paper we've been writing all the time, or something, where there was nothing other than this. I mean, rather than pretend we're sitting on a different paper.
So you mean just rip the bell?
The cover up. Yeah, aletheia, little aletheia right there.
Well,
and maybe that's the way we frame it. I mean, maybe that's you frame it in terms of the uncovering that's happened.
So part of me kind of likes staying with the conceit all the way through. And there's a way in which, if you think about a Platonic dialogue, let's say I'm a big fan of the Phaedo. There's an interesting way, right, where, so to just stick with the Phaedo, he tells these fables and goes into myth and so on, and then there are arguments. And sometimes the arguments counter the myth, sometimes, so there's a relationship between the parts of it that are part of what the dialogue is also about, right? And so there's a way in which by not revealing the truth, we sort of highlight more the notion of candor and truth, or we bring that into an interesting tension. Like, is our conceit more truthful maybe than saying, hey, this has been a conceit?
Yeah, no, I can see that. I mean, maybe it's, I mean, let's talk a little bit more about, quickly here, what the conceit in fact is, right? So the conceit is that we have a paper that we've been trying to get to.
Right.
Right. And it's pretty clear to people that this is the paper we're reading. It's not going to be like so good that we're just performing it and people see that we're not, that what this is. So then the issue is, do we pretend that we have a different paper do we continue to pretend that we have a different paper than the one we just gave?
Oh, okay, well, so that's interesting because, I mean, I thought, by the way, there were some moments last time when we practiced it where it wasn't so obvious that we were reading. And then there were times when it was pretty obvious that we were reading. And I part of me wonders if we rehearse it like one or two more times, would we get so good that it would just be talking?
Right.
So that's one thing. But you raise an interesting point that if we know that the audience knows that this is a conceit, then the conceit becomes more interesting in certain ways. Because then I think the audience has to start thinking, well, why are they doing this when it's so obvious that there is no paper, that this is what they plan to do the entire time? And so then what are they trying to tell us by pretending that there's another paper?
Yeah. And so what are we trying to say? I mean, so part of me wants to say, well, part of me, I guess part of what I think we want to say is that, you know, that this well,
I think part of what we want to say is, so I see it on two or maybe three levels. The first level is, Sean asked us to present a paper together, and presumably he asked us to do that because we've worked together in the past. And so part of this is both a reflection on and an exhibition of how it is that we work together and what that brings about.
mm-hmm.
And that why are we fixated then on the goal of getting a paper when there's actual real philosophy happening here right now? And so why is the crafted sort of artificiality of the paper, when that becomes the goal, then what happens to all of this philosophy we've done in the background? And so we want to sort of bring the philosophy to the foreground.
Well, what if we at the end then came to the conclusion, which is the truth, that we've come to, which is that the unfolding of this conversation has been the performing of the paper, the giving of the paper, the writing of the paper.
And so you say we just be straightforward, because there's a way where we could say that and keep the conceit. That is, we could say something like, you know, in not getting to the paper, we've actually shown or performed here a happening of philosophy that escapes capture in words.
I like that, and I also like to build in a critique of the. I mean, it's a little bit unkind to those who have to follow us, but it build into a kind of critique of the monological delivery of philosophical papers.
Right, because part of what I was thinking of yesterday and the day before is that I lost my thought completely. The monological. Oh, what would it have looked like if we wrote a typical paper? Then how would we present it together? You know, like I'd read a paragraph and then you'd read a paragraph, and that's just stupid.
Right, and that also goes to the point in which about that I think that you make at the end of the document now, is that we've you know, our thinking has interwoven, and so we, you know, being who wrote what sentence and all of that, you know, is merged, or at least becomes you can't disentangle it. So yeah, it would be, and then that brings up the whole kind of interesting question of what's one's own.
Right. Yeah.
And then I mean, yeah, so the question is, now we got to write a different, now we got another 10 pages on that.
No, I mean, I think we could get there kind of quickly. I mean, let me.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. You want to go to the end of it?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you go to the end, I'm going to look back at the beginning, because I really want the circle structure. So we need to go back. I mean, I think we're going to have to end with probably returning to the touchstone passage, right?
Yeah. So here's what I was thinking, something like this. So just following from, so I'm just going to put a stand-in header here. I feel like I need to reveal codes.
Yeah, I know. Now, where are you here? Are you at the end?
I'm at the end.
Okay. I can't see the Reveal codes, man. That's
A lot of header. Oh,
you're the one way back when trying to convince me how great Word was. I remember that. I was like, never am I going away from Word Perfect.
I know, and now you're all like iOS and.
I know, and you're like Word Perfect.
I'm even worse than Word Perfect.
You are. You're in the code, man.
I'm like, what was the email program we used? Pine?
Oh, Pine. Jeez. Yeah.
All right. So, all right, here we go. You hungry?
All right.
No.
Wait a minute. You got, all right. We already have that header up there.
I wanted the style. All right, let's do style.
Oh. I can make the style. Just go to the style thing.
Okay. So I was last. Yeah. Okay. So Chris said, "Oh, Chris says something like in a way it's not productive that we got uh,
Yeah, that's good.
one of us should have been taking notes when we were talking.
Okay, well, I think I've got, so, well, we've got the
All right, I'm going to grab
videotapes.
some water. You have the comp.
Okay, okay.
Finish it.
I finished it up. I got your name written in there, so that's good. All right, so the point here being that we're together. Well, then I think, I was going to go back to the beginning because you're the one who introduced the passage in the first place.
Okay.
Right? And let me see here.
Maybe something about our familiarity and friendship in this talking together opened us to truth.
Right, that's good. All right, yeah. And what are we doing with so Symbolian solidarity. All right. Opened. Space. All right. Something like that. As we enter into engagement with the text, has opened a space of solidarity in which a deeper sense of living well together has emerged. All right. I love that you're writing me and I'm writing you.
I didn't notice that. That's fantastic.
It is.
I want to say Alethea is true.
Let's say, yeah. Yeah, I like it. We should maybe, rather than shown exposed, let's just say uncovered.
Nice.
Is that good?
Yeah.
All right. I'll get that one. All right. Well, and maybe that's it.
I think that might be it.
Because you start and I end.
I like it.
Right? Yeah, and your first thing says there's something really crucial about doing philosophy in the concept of friendship.
Oh, very nice. So then maybe you should say, because we're just going to stop, that seems weird. Maybe you should say, and that seems like the perfect place to end or stop. I like stop better than end.
How about that? And that seems to, yeah, or why don't I say something like, and that seems to be the perfect place to stop so we can begin again. So, I mean, something about beginning again. Right?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What did you say? So I actually want to kind of capture that past. So you say there's something really crucial about doing philosophy in the context of friendship. So maybe I should repeat that. same phrase or something, like a version of that phrase.
What about putting those two things together? So this seems like a good place to stop so that we can continue the crucial work of doing philosophy in the context of friendship.
Yeah. Hold on a sec. So let me do that. Let me see here. So, I feel like it should be a little bit more, but I mean, I wanted to get to your. Well, wait a minute. What if we pull that passage? The time is livable because it enables us to see something meaningful to one another. I wonder if we pull that passage from the De Anima up into your section. So we introduce the tongue point.
We do say that somewhere.
Oh, do we use that passage?
We do. It might be in Living Well.
Yeah, I'm looking for that. Okay. Well, I mean, it's in the RK section.
Oh, hold on. I remember.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
My back?
Yeah, you're back.
So, yeah, here, back 22.
Oh, 22. Okay, we got our train moving through here.
So you say, all right, or I say, all right, let me test this out and see what you think. If we go back to Aristotle's discussion of the tongue, we see.
There, I see. Okay. Okay, but regardless of language, he tries to communicate our thoughts to others. Okay, I see. Develops the second notion of living well is developed materially. All right. Yeah, okay. All right. Well, then maybe we can just stop with that. But does that make sense? So this it seems is a good place to stop, because as you said in the beginning, well, maybe I should say that a good place to stop and return to what you said in the beginning. For there's something crucial about doing philosophy in the context of friendship. Maybe that's
Good.
better because we return to the beginning. Good place to stop and return to what you said at the beginning. Okay. So, all right. So, interestingly, with that, we both reinforce and uncover the conceit. Namely, I mean, I think because this is clearly a crafted piece of writing.
Right.
I mean, even though we speak it and we, and even if we get good at it, it's clearly that. It's also, I mean, we do talk at various points in the text about the question of the paper has changed in this conversation.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't think it's yeah, I think holding on to the conceit is a good thing, and it's not really duplicitous in the negative sense of duplicity.
Right. And so, in a sense, the conceit is that there is a conceit.
Right. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Do we want to, in this end piece here, do we want to reinforce something about the soul, or is this probably sufficient? Maybe I should say we perform the very point about, maybe I could say that we perform the very point about this. Go ahead.
What if we insert it in what I say above that? So yeah, and if we return here one final time to our touchstone passage,
Yeah.
our familiarity with our own souls allows a familiarity with one another.
Well, so actually, wait. What if we switched it around? What if we said, because the passage really gets at the question of the inquiry, right? I mean, just before the passage, Aristotle's talking about the inquiry into the soul. So it's really this inquiry that has led to this, right? So maybe that's what you should come back to in your passage there. This. So if we return one final time to our touchstone passage, our familiarity with one another as we inquire into the nature of the soul. How about that?
I got it.
All right. Are you doing it, or am I?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then maybe we could say, has opened a space of familiarity with one another, space of solidarity.
Okay, then we would say to our touchstone, our inquiry into the nature of the soul has opened a space, right? Not our familiarity with one another as we inquire,
Okay.
right? So
Our
just cut that. Our inquiry into the nature of the soul. Yeah, that's it. That's better.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
Not just communicated, not just with the tongue, but can also be uncovered through living well together in philosophy. This, it seems, is a good place to stop and return to what you said at the beginning. There's something crucial about doing philosophy in the context of friendship. Okay.
So can I propose my big cut now?
Yeah. Everything I said. That'd be hilarious.
No, in fact, I'm pretty sure I must have written it. But so I'm on 21, but it probably
Okay.
begins on 20.
All right, hold on. 21. Okay, so you're talking about the cutting of the SCOTUS.
Yeah.
Okay, he's never a digression, but he might have to fall onto the cutting room floor here.
Right. So I think nothing just becomes so. Your saying, well, maybe that's not such an aside, and then my long speech, and then your what I think is frequently missed, and then so while we've been thinking about Truman, we lose generosity. And so I could start up with, but I do want to try to tie together some loose ends here.
You want to start with your.
We're going to need you to say something. So here's what I'm proposing.
All right.
If I highlight something, do you see it? So I'll
maybe
highlight it.
Well, you've saved a copy of this baby, right? So.
Right. So do you see anything highlighted?
No, I don't see it highlighted, but.
All right. So what if I just cut it? You need to say something.
All right, did you cut it?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I keep saving and saying it takes sometimes a second. Can you save?
It says it's saved.
All right.
Okay, now it's saved.
Okay, I see you. I see you typing. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is important about what we wanted to say. Sorry, Sean. And then Peirce and the entire pragmatic tradition, and one could easily add Heidegger and Gadamer here, show that this is always tied up in praxis. You can do it with birds. And practice seems to be related to living well. Okay, that's good. Yeah.
So now we're at 26 pages.
Okay. We definitely still need to cut. So one. Well, okay. Wait a minute. What about this junk that we have that we don't? Maybe what we should we just accept changes?
Wait. So let me cut out the notes we have.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I mean. So under RK
And then,
principle of living well.
yeah.
Is that what you're gonna do? Okay.
Yeah. And then.
But even so, we didn't read those when we read.
Did you get that far? I think we did.
I think we got to like 18 or something.
Yeah, we did.
But we were at an hour and 2 minutes. You know, we gotta cut this sucker. And even as I think about cutting, I feel like we also did we ever get to that point where when we talked about secondness and the coming up against the wall about the idea of objectum and all that?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't want to add more stuff.
Right.
We might throw that in there at some point. Now, I wonder if there's some stuff that we could cut, like, you know, that whole back and forth where we quote one another to each other. I wonder if we need that. That's
okay, so that's 8.
Yeah. The other thing I didn't the other thing we're going to have to play around with what we do with those texts when I cite Emma and Haraway and other stuff like that. I mean, we play around with the idea that I have the text there, and does that seem too contrived?
Well, so either, so I put that in that you read for the text because either we can't quote exactly or we need you to have the text in.
Okay, that's fine. I can have them. I'll just make sure I have the ones that we're dealing with here.
But what I'm wondering is in this section, so I'm on 8 now.
Yeah.
Where I say, so now you're referencing your own words.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I could just more quickly indicate that reminds me of what you discuss or you talk about in Aristotle on the Nature of Truth, and then maybe summarize this rather than quote directly.
Right.
So if I say something like, that reminds me of what you say in Aristotle in the Nature of Truth when you talk about aletheia involving a kind of noticing, and then just cut the quote. We could put it in a footnote.
Yeah.
And then I go on with, so this activity, the active verb.
Yeah.
All
right. I'll put that into a note.
Okay.
All right. I do like the idea of us quoting each other's texts. But the other thing is, I'm not sure. What about that? All right. So then, and when I do, so then I get your text, then I can quote you.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, that's a very small cut, but all right. What about let's cut that piece. One thing I didn't love was that piece about feeding the citation machine or whatever.
Okay.
Maybe it is. Hold on, I'm looking for it. No. All right. I feel like it's earlier. No, well, it's not searching. I think it's getting confused because we're both working on it.
Maybe we already cut it.
Well, okay. Well, we can check it. So let's talk a sec. Since we got about 10 minutes, I got to wake everybody up here. How do you want to do? So, all right. So we've got a rough draft here, and we want to on Thursday. We're meeting, right?
Right.
Let's be sure. We want. What do we want to do? Do we want to go through together and cut, or how do you want to do it?
I feel like we're at the point now where there's not a whole lot of obvious slack that we could just cut. And so I think I'd prefer to do it together because I think we're going to have to start making some tough decisions.
Right.
And I'd rather do that together than.
Yeah, no, I agree. How about what about, I think we could we could probably accept changes now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go for it.
Right. And whatever notes are in there will be still notes. When you accept all, they'll just be.
Right.
All right, I'm waiting for you're doing it, right?
Yeah. Oh.
We don't really even have a name for this paper, do we? For this.
Right.
It's called the dialogue.
All right.
Oh, wow. Nice. Clean. Actually, I think that this, where we move quickly, I think I can delete that one. Delete that comment. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going down, and you say we can't quote it so exactly. So I'll delete that comment. That's good.
One thing I was noticing today is that chunk where you say, funny you should say that, and the whole thing about the Woodbridge. I'm wondering if we might be able to tighten that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Why don't I just say? It reminds me of Woodbridge's Woodbridge's lecture. Why don't I just say it reminds me of something Woodbridge wrote in Aristotle's vision of nature.
Yeah.
in Aristotle's Visit of Nature, in which he says, he suggests that the key to Aristotle's psychology is the recognition that there is a correlation between. Hey. Okay, I'm good with that. I won't add the quotation. There. All right.
Or if you want to, you can put it in a note.
Yeah. So I'll just add a note there. All right.
Right. And so, like, by the way, I tightened up at the top of 4 the echo thing. So rather than quote echo, I just capture the relevant point.
All right. Well, wait a minute. Maybe we could tighten this up more there, because I don't think. Well, let's see. So you just say if I recall, you cite Echo there, who seem to have captured something important about the meaning of the symbol, where the symbol and symbolized are two halves of the same thing. I see. Yeah. All right. I gotcha. I'm going to say, could we say that by using symbolist I here, Aristotle seems to suggest, okay, that's good. Do we want, oh, I wonder if I, do we want to, yeah, okay, you quote from memory. That's hilarious. All right, so we're gonna have to, in the end here, I'm gonna have to see what books I need to have next to me.
Right. Yeah, I feel like this, the discussion of these 2 essays in Sherman could be tightened a lot. We only have like 3 minutes now, so it's probably not the right time to do that. But
right, I think so. Well, maybe make a note there so we don't lose that. I think we should tighten that up, and we might be able to tighten the stuff around Emma's. But I do think it's important to get, you know, Emma and Haraway and others in there. So, okay, yeah, we could tighten that up for sure. All right. So, okay, so that'll be the plan for Thursday. We'll start right into. So then, are you okay with us doing doing tightening on Thursday? Then I go. Then I'm going away to Yellowstone, and what about doing a? Let's see about. So when is our paper?
Tuesday, July
10th.
I think that's
it must be 10th. Yeah. All right. So okay. So then on. So let's look at that week of the 2nd, or right? You're traveling soon, right?
I'm leaving on the 4th.
Okay. All right. What about let's schedule something for the morning of the 3rd.
Okay.
All right. Should we do a? I probably could do a if we start at. Should we do a run through?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So if we start at 6, I don't have to bring the girls to school. They're out of school,
Okay.
so I can just go into work a little later. So if we just do 6 until my time, 6 until 2 hours or something, right?
Okay.
Let's do 6 to 8. I'll say my time.
All right.
Okay, and then the question will be potentially that we would have to do maybe do something. Do you want to schedule a time for another practice, or are we going to just go?
Well, so the 4th would be tough for me. But
Yeah, no.
I could do the 5th, or the 6th.
What about what about doing when you're at the collegium, when that first day you do the morning, right, session, and are you leading a tech seminar?
No, 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 no.
No. So we could theoretically do another version on the 9th
Yeah.
for just to tighten things
A
up.
final dress rehearsal.
Yeah, dress rehearsal on the 9th. All right. So we'll do 6 a.m. Same. Is that? Can you do that time? Is that what time's good for you then? With the
Wait, now
collegium.
let me think. Yeah, I think it's gonna have to be later because I think where's the schedule? Let me pull up the schedule. I think the lectures go until noon.
Well, what if we did it at like what if we did it like at 10 my time? What's that mean?
So that would be 16:04. Yeah.
Or that way we can also test the technology.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
All right, so let's go 10. All right.
I'm just, give me a sec. I just want to
Yep.
get the schedule. So Tuesday, Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that would be fine.
So I'm scheduling 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. on Tuesday because we're gonna start because it really starts at 10, right? So it's 4
4
o'clock. Yeah. All right. So I'll be pretty much ready at 3.
Okay. All right.
All right. That sounds good.
Cool. All right. So I'll see you on Thursday.
Excellent. All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.